Welcome to Feel Good Talk, where our focus is on mind, body, soul, and business. You are now tuning in to Let's Talk About It, which is this is our second week. Yay!
Yay!
Off to a good start.
That's right.
And we have a special guest here. Our special guest is one of my awesome friends. She is a friend, a mentor, an entrepreneur. And everything about her, I love. I'm not going to spill all the beans. I'm going to let her tell you some things about herself. But Cynn Coburn, we are so excited to have you here today.
Oh, thank you.
I've been hyped all week.
I know we have known each other for some time, and I am just blessed to have her in my life because whenever I need someone to lean on, she's only a message away, and she's been an awesome mentor in so many parts of my life. So without further ado, I'd like to ask you a few questions, Miss Cynn.
Yeah, go for it.
My first question is, how did you get into becoming an entrepreneur?
I've been a single mom for a long time, and I've gone through, a few abusive relationships, and I've learned that even through all that, my mind it works a little different, and I struggle with having a boss above me.
Yeah, right. Me too.
Yeah, every time I've had a job, I'm like, oh, I just do something on my own because I can't handle authority.
Right.
And I've always been that way. So like with every job, I've moved up really fast just so I don't have to deal really with people above me.
Right.
And I think for some people, the entrepreneurial brain comes more natural, but it's also something that like anybody can have. It takes practice. So that's just where my brain was. And now it's kind of, not that it's died down. I'm just in a safe space now, and I think my brain works a little bit different. But I think with everybody, you have your times where you're really in the mood to just really hustle, and then there's other times where your mind just needs that break. Yeah. So I had that time where I just needed a break before I could really put myself forward with stuff, and now I'm back kind of in that grind. But But even that, like with Josh, if my brain is just not there, his is. So it's just like we just work together and we always share ideas. So I mean, we have so many things in the pot right now. It's stupid, and we just can't keep up. But it's just like one thing at a time, even though there's like multiple things going on.
Yeah. That's awesome. That's awesome. I remember watching like Gary V, and at one point I thought that something was going on with me because I had so many things going on. But it's awesome to have multiple things going on. And I see all of them on Instagram and all of them on Facebook, and I love them all.
Yeah. So Cynn, can you tell us about what it is that what you do, everything you're involved with, all the stuff you have going on?
Yeah. Some stuff, unfortunately, I can't share, but I can tell you that we're in the process of writing another book, which I know we discussed a few minutes ago. Josh has some stuff that he has started, and I have stuff that I've started. And now it's just a matter of, do we make this one book or do we make it two different books? So we're working on that. And when it comes to being a motivational speaker and just like a mental health worker,
right?
You can't just sit down and write a book. You have to be in that headspace to really put on paper what's going on in your head, because sometimes it just doesn't, what you're writing down is just like, I can't, that doesn't sound right or whatever. So that's a long process. But I also run a marketing company, mainly for social media. So I'm also doing that. And that's a 24/7 job. Actually, it's, even during this, I have my phone to my side because I can see stuff coming in.
Right.
It has its pros and its cons. It allows me to work from home and essentially work from anywhere, but you also don't get that break. I don't ask for days off or anything like that. We go all the time. Right. We always go. So.
Yeah. We were talking about that the other day. Like once you're your own boss, it's just you're in charge of the advertising, trying to get everything out, scheduling the appointments. You know,
Mhm.
like I don't have a makeup artist and you don't have one. Cynn is the bomb. She comes on
I
sometimes and she
know.
gives tutorials.
Meanwhile, I'm yelling at my son, get the lights up, get the computer up. Like I'm up in the bathroom, like
Yeah, her makeup is
together.
always on and popping.
Yeah,
Well, to be fair, I do have a ring light on right now, which is
yeah, yeah.
face.
Awesome. So one of the
Always
things
help.
that I wanted to ask you about was so in terms of like being an entrepreneur and then juggling all of these things and being always on, what do you do for your downtime? Like how do you manage like your self-care in the midst of all the stuff that you do?
So that sometimes is something that I struggle with. I really struggle to turn my brain off. I mean, nighttime when I am trying to go to sleep, it's like my brain's just like, we're going to think about these million things. And like half of them don't even make sense and probably aren't going to happen. But my brain's like, okay, well, I need A through Z for a plan then.
Right.
So it's hard to turn off. But honestly, Josh and I have really gotten into like third eye awakening and meditation, and we're looking into yoga and things like that because Josh had kind of a scary thing happen a couple months ago that not many people know about. His brother had a massive heart attack and essentially died for 10 and a half minutes, and he shouldn't be alive today. There was a couple reasons why he's still alive, and I think a lot of it too has to do with whatever is out there, you know, really helped him along. He did have an afterlife experience. And with the afterlife experience, it kind of went along with, Josh was telling me about his brother's afterlife experience, and it matched perfectly with my my sensitivity. I've always talked about this like voice thing that I hear, which isn't a voice.
Right.
It's not a person. I can't explain it. The best way I can put it is that it talks to me, even though there's nothing there. It's like an energy.
Right.
And when Josh was telling me his brother's story, I was like, that is exactly what I'm trying to say. Like all the time, it's energies, it's these beings, these things.
Right.
And so I felt validated at that point. I was like, oh my gosh, okay, I'm number one, I'm not crazy.
Right.
All the time. You're like, what in the world? And number two, it made us realize that there is so much more out there. Even if we can't see it, doesn't mean it's not out there, kind of thing.
Right.
So we've been really looking into, like I said, third eye awakening and stuff. We've been watching this guy. I told you about him, Raj, which to me, I love him because he has a science backing behind everything he says. So it's just like, oh, well, we have this third eye. And most people are like, yeah, we have this mystical third eye and you can open it. And this guy's like, this is the reason why you have a third eye. This is where it is. You know, it's your pineal gland. It actually has all these things to it. So that's what we're getting into now. And honestly, that's been the most beneficial thing to me, is to spend some time to myself and just try to shut my brain off and meditate. I've been also going to sleep with meditation music on. I bought this like headband thing that has speakers in it, and I go to sleep with that at night, and which is great because it forces you to listen to these soothing sounds versus being distracted by all these noises.
Right.
Not to mention the fact that Josh snores terribly. It also sounds bad.
Is he watching that now? Now I know, Josh, if you out there.
Maybe. I don't know. He's actually on a business trip right now. He has downtime. So I don't know.
Yeah, I think that's like the curse of like the entrepreneurial brain. Like always, I find myself too. Like I have to go to bed with either music, or you guys are going to laugh at me, but it's true. Or I go to bed listening to NPR. Because I have to like have like, otherwise I'm like chucking through all the stuff in my brain. But if I'm listening to like news stories or something, like then I'm like, it's like the weirdest thing, but I think that's like the curse of the entrepreneur. Like always trying to, especially the creatives, right? When you're creative, you're just always thinking of something new and how can you do it better and what do I need to do next, you know, etc. So
it's crazy because Josh has the same problem, and on occasion, like this is the best story I can give. Last year on our anniversary, we went to this cabin. And it was remote. There wasn't any Wi-Fi. There wasn't a TV in there.
Oh, wow.
He's thinking like, this is going to be great. You know, like awesome. We can finally turn off. Both of us sat on that deck and we lost our minds. We're like, what do we do? This is terrible. So, and then we ended up, of course, talking about business like we always do.
Yeah. It's hard. They in meditation they call that a monkey mind, where it's just constantly going and going and going, and it's hard to shut off. And like Cynn said, you have to make a really an effort to just shut it down, to quiet your mind down at night. And I resonate with everything that she says, especially with the third eye. I do a third eye meditation every single morning, along with other meditations, just to try to calm my mind down. It's a lot. It's a lot. But you know what, Cynn? You are good at it. You're a straight boss.
That's right. It looks like we have some comments. So let's get to the comments.
Oh, we have Breon Nichols. He said, "What's up, Queens?" Hi, Breon.
Thank you for joining us.
Good. We got Chuck here. He says, "Good evening, ladies." Hi, Chuck. Hey, Shayna Gordine says, "Hey, ladies."
Hey, Shayna.
Hi, Shayna. And we have Jean Kelly. Hello, beautiful ladies. Hi, Jean.
Hi.
How are you? Oh, we have Tabron Shorts. Hi, Tabron. Ladies, your energy
on
is
10.
On 10. Yes.
Yes.
I feel like this is like a powerhouse of energy right now because I know how all of our brains work. So it's just like,
right? Like we're short out the system. So Shauna says I have to have my TV on or music. Yeah. So, but you know, I do this thing, so I don't have any TVs in the bedroom for that reason, because I know if I had it on, like I would be, you know.
Right.
Yeah. No. Let's.
Yeah. I have them there, but I don't shut them. I don't have them on.
I get it.
Yeah, because I need that time to just like think about what I need to think about and then kind of go to sleep. But there's been times I've messaged Cynn and I'm like, dude, I've been up for 48 hours. And she's like,
and that last time that night, I was also up. Like, I couldn't go to sleep.
I showed up though. I was like, you know what? I said, Cynn, I'm going to be up anyway. I can't sleep. So I showed her like a cup of Starbucks. I should have never done that. The Starbucks on top of that. No, I'm not lying. I was literally up for 48 hours. I mean, I got a lot of stuff done, but yeah.
Jeez Louise. No, thank you.
I know, right?
You can have that. Cynn, I have another question for you. So in looking at your bio, so you are a woman. So you are a resilient woman, because you have survived a lot, from homelessness to sexual abuse, mental abuse, physical abuse. So can you tell us who you were then and who you are now?
Yeah, you know, and I think about that a lot. I am a much stronger person now, and I always try to think like, how would I handle these situations now if I was put in there? And I don't really have an answer for that, especially when it comes to abuse, because I mean, it's like you feel like your mind's being played with, essentially, you know? So it's like you sit there and say, oh, look for these red flags. But those abusers, they know how to manipulate that. And so I like to be hopeful that I'd never, you know, be in that situation again. I feel like I'm more of a powerhouse now to avoid things like that. I know I have a mouth to me when I need to. Sometimes Josh is the one that has to talk for me, because I can be very, very calm, but there are certain things that'll just straight up piss me off, and I'm like, you need to just talk to them, please, so I can continue being nice. But back then, you know, I had a rough childhood. I'm not close to my parents or anything. And I think, I've really, like I said, I've done a lot of thinking with this. And I think it was the lack of relationship and what is the word I'm looking for? Like the bonding and stuff that caused me to be on this mad search for love, to feel accepted and appreciated and valued. And so with my first abusive relationship, I probably intentionally on a subconscious level overlooked some things because this person knew how to manipulate me and to tell me things that, I wanted to hear or whatever, because they were giving me that attention. And I was just like, oh my gosh, like how can they do this? Like they're like saying the perfect things. And I was young and dumb and naive. And, I was married for 13 years. He wasn't abusive or anything, but that was the only relationship I had for so many years, and prior to that, I didn't have a good example and a father and stuff to know what I deserve,
Yeah.
That was a process I had to go through on my own to figure out my worth. And I wouldn't wish what I went through on anybody, by any means, but I'm thankful for it because it's made me who I am today. I can easily help a good 90% of the people that reach out to me because I've been there, done that, and the reason why I do what I do now is because in one of my abusive relationships, I ended up going to a shelter for abused women and children. And I had this social worker that was talking to me, and I could just tell by the way she was talking that she's never been in this situation. And I flat out asked her if she's been in this situation before, and she said no. And instantly my walls went up, and I'm like, I don't even want to talk to her. Like, don't give me your spiel, like, whatever you're reading off a piece of paper. So I kind of told myself from then on, I was going to try to make a difference in women's lives and help them because I can relate to them essentially. And little did I know that was the first in multiple abusive relationships. So I've gained a lot of tools on the way.
You have such an amazing story. And the first time like I saw you with Josh, I was like, whoa, she's gonna be my friend. I'm gonna connect with her. And then I just went to your website and it was just like, wow, she has so much, and you're such an inspiration to so many women. I look in the comments and I just see like, and Cynn has a way of knowing and feeling through intuition what's going on with people. And it's just an awesome gift to have, a really awesome gift to have.
And that voice that I talk about a week or so ago, it kept telling me that someone close to me or someone out there that I talk to or I know about or something was contemplating suicide or was going to kill themselves. And at that point, I made a post on Facebook asking like how everyone was or something, because I'm just like, you know what, I'm just going to throw this out there because I'm hopefully something I say or something I do or something someone else says is going to help whoever is struggling out there. But when it comes to Josh and me meeting him, it was so unexpected. I wasn't ready. I mean, I was so heartbroken and just over everything men. I mean, I was just done. I'm like, the stuff I've gone through, I'm surprised, honestly, that I didn't kill myself, because that was in my head multiple times. But something kept telling me to hang on. In fact, years and years and years and years and years ago, I will never forget, I was laying in bed one time, and I mean, I was screaming on the top of my lungs, like, why are you doing this to me? Just screaming to the universe. And I said, in my head, I'm like, you know what if I'm with a cop? A cop can't hurt me. What if I'm a motivational speaker? There's no way they would hurt me. They're out there like helping the world. Just send me something. And of course, this didn't happen right away. And I'm like, whatever, like there's nothing out there. Like it's not helping me. Well, I meet Josh unexpectedly and he's that thing. And I'm like, whoa.
Right.
So it was divine timing. I needed to go through what I went through to appreciate him on a soul level for the things that he does. And I know with everything that he's gone through, he needed to do the same thing. And I think had we met any earlier, we wouldn't be here together. We had different priorities. And, you know, Josh didn't have kids for a reason. And, you know, his brain is 1000% entrepreneur.
Right.
You know, so we've both made mistakes and whatever else. And like I said, had we been together earlier, it probably wouldn't have worked. But now with us being together, we can help each other in so many ways. And essentially, he's actually helped me to heal from the things in my past. So he's also helped me to be a stronger person. And I know a lot of that comes from the inside, but when you have a strong, healthy person in your life that knows how to handle your traumas, that allows you to just bloom in ways that you can't imagine. Because believe me, I have been triggered so many times by things, and he has held my hand through all of it. Or times when I'm like, he's going to yell at me, he's going to call me names, he's going to do this, or I'm fearful. He's like, I love you, babe. And I'm like, loving yourself. What's that?
I wish we had like champagne glasses. We could toast to that. Around. That's beautiful. Because I often think like we go through our experiences not for us, you know, for other people. And like you said, now you're able to relate, and timing is everything. I mean, I remember like back in my youth, you know, you would meet people and you'd be like, oh man, I wish I would have met you earlier. But now I realize when I meet people, like that timing is right. Because I would have been a different person, you know, back then. And like you said, not been able to really appreciate, you know, the friendship or the relationship or the way they communicate. But then as you go through things in life, then you're, you know, when you're faced with things or you meet people, you're like, man, I really appreciate this, because you realize how unique that person, you know, or that skill is that they carry. So, so it's beautiful. It's beautiful.
I knew they were meant to be. When I saw Josh for the first time, and I don't remember exactly where I came across, but for some reason, I think it was like on Instagram, and he's this big guy, and he's got all these tattoos and these quotes he was saying. I was like, oh, these are awesome quotes. Like they are to live by. And every day I will watch them. And so one day I was just going through it. I was, you know, I had some family members that had passed away. I had lost my job. I was just really going through it. And I said, you know what? I'm going to just reach out to him. And I said, Josh, sent him an inbox, a DM on Instagram. And I said, will you be my mentor? I just need somebody to vibe off every now and again. And he just said, sure, yeah. And my heart just was like,
oh, wow.
It just opened up. And I didn't even reach out after that point, just to know that he was open enough to say that he would, you know, be my mentor, a strange person, you know, I mean, I'm on his poster, whatever. So when I saw them together, I'm like, here we have this big guy with a teddy bear heart, and we have this woman who's just beautiful and glowing, and her energy. So I was like, yes, they are a powerhouse together. They work together. You know, if he does a post, she backs it. If she does a post, he backs it. And it's just amazing to see them like work together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I believe that we were put together for a reason.
Yeah.
And there's been so many signs for that too, you know, because there's things that I naturally I do certain things that he has still, you know, he has some learning to do and vice versa. So it's like a yin and a yang thing, and we just help each other out. And what you guys get with him, he truly is that in real life. So it's just like what you guys get, I get like tenfold. And sometimes it's so much to handle on like in a good way that I don't know how to handle it sometimes. Because he is so sweet. And I mean, like, I could literally sit here all day and do nothing because he tries to do everything for me. And, you know, when I had surgery, he was right there and, you know, waking up and giving me my medicine. And, you know, he's always there for me no matter what.
I love it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So does he have a cousin, a brother? I'm like, does he have a cousin or a brother?
Like, can you hook a sister up?
Brother, but he's single, unfortunately.
I know. Can you hook a sister up? No, just kidding.
Yeah. So
No,
getting
that's
onto that and getting onto connection, you guys have this connection. Josh has the same tattoo that you have on your neck with the 3 dots, and I always noticed his. And when you popped up and you had it on your neck, I was like, man, that's a strong woman right there. Because I got a few tats too, but right there is whew.
Yeah.
That's when you know you love your man, when you get your tat right here on your neck.
right.
Yeah. Well, it's just like he has them on his forehead, so I'm like, I need to do something bold too, and we can just be this like dynamic duo, you know?
Yeah.
So yes,
Tell us what that means, the 3 dots, because I also see that you have fans that are getting it also. Like lots of fans are getting the 3 dots. What do those 3 dots mean?
It's mind, body, and environment.
Mind, body, and environment.
3 things that ultimately make us who we are.
Yeah.
So, and Josh essentially put him on his forehead as a constant reminder for himself.
Yeah.
And you know, people think it's so weird. Here's this guy walking around with these forehead tattoos, which he's had now for like 20 years. But you know, same with his stretched earlobes and stuff. And it's just like when you hear the reason why he has these things, people are like, oh, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
He gets judged all the time, you know, but when they hear and stuff, it's, you know, it totally opens their eyes. But yeah, mind, body, and environment. You need those 3 things.
Right.
You know, to nurture those 3 things. Yeah, especially the environment. You know, you need that community and make sure that you're treating others well, and you know, you're kind to everybody, no matter who they are. Even if you don't like them, kindness and love always overpowers. And even if they walk away still being that cranky, snotty person, you at least did the right thing. So you feel bad about that. So, and always keep your mind healthy. That's a huge thing too. You know, we have to be mentally healthy, and if we're not, we have to put everything forward to make sure that happens in the end. And you know, that's, you know, that kind of circles back to me then versus me now. You know, that took a lot of work. And you have to tackle that kind of stuff head on a soul level. You cannot put a Band-Aid on it. You can think at the time that you can put a Band-Aid on it and things are good. 1000%, I can tell you no. You have to feel that on a soul level. Let yourself cry. Let yourself hurt. Experience those feelings, because your soul knows what that is, and it's going to help repair that. And there's times, like days, when I just work so hard on myself just to constantly say positive things about myself and point out all these little things, that I would go to bed just mentally drained, where I just had nothing left in me. But I knew I'd come out on the other side from that. And I did, you know, and that's not to say that I don't struggle now, and I don't have my down moments. Izzy, you know all about that. I for those things. But I'm proud of who I am now, and I do owe a lot to Josh as well, because he's helped me. He's allowed me to realize that self-love is an inside job. He's allowed me to realize my value, which before him, nothing's really been healthy for me. And so now I know what healthy love is, and I know that I'm worth it, and I do mean something. So
Yeah, for sure.
I love that.
I love that. Now, I was just going to say, when you're talking about like healthy love and, you know, all of this stuff, like I'm just so amazed at just your positive attitude. And one thing that I heard you say on a previous interview kind of talked about, we all have these emotional things that we try to get rid of, but it's not really about getting rid of it. It's about how do you learn to live, you know, when you are feeling down, and when you are, you know, playing those bad memories back in your head, how do you go and you cope with those things, you know? So you're not really going to get rid of it.
The goal would never be to get rid of it, because you're just going to feel like a failure, because there's no way to get rid of that stuff. Our brains sometimes naturally have a genius way of, hiding these traumatic experiences, but they'll come up eventually in ways that we don't expect. And, I was talking to a World War II pilot years ago, because I used to volunteer at a nursing home with my kids, because I don't have grandparents and parents really. I figured this is the perfect opportunity for my kids to kind of experience what an older generation's love is like.
Oh, that's nice.
So we volunteered there, and we had the pleasure of speaking to a World War II veteran who had very bad dementia, but he was so in tune with World War II, and he said something that just really hit home with me. And he said, sometimes you gotta fly through the bad to realize the good. Right. And I can't remember exactly what his quote was, but it made so much sense to me. It's like you nurture the bad. You have to nurture the bad.
Right.
And so ever since then, I've tried to do that. Bad isn't necessarily a bad thing. We can learn from these bad things, and we have to nurture the bad and the sadness and the anxiety just as much as we praise and nurture the good. Because you're never going to heal properly unless you appreciate the bad and the anxiety and, all these negative things. So when you can kind of change the way you think in that aspect, it helps a lot, because you're not like, oh, all these bad things happened to me and this and that. It's no, I learned this because of it. And I can help this person because of it. And I know not to do this now. And I can move forward because of this. And just like failures, whether it's with business or relationships or whatever, we need those failures.
Yeah.
I mean, if we can have these experiences, how can we flourish and be successful entrepreneurs? We don't know shit. Sorry. We have to know this stuff, the failures, and appreciate the failures as much as we appreciate the good. So
true.
And to go back and look at the bad and say, oh my gosh, I made it from that far. Wow. Like when you're in it, you're like, and then when you're before, when you're in those bad relationships, they were horrible. But now you're with Josh, and you can look back and be like, wow, it's a breath of fresh air for you. You know what I mean? To just feel that blessing. Yeah.
I mean, there's things that I would never even notice about Josh.
Yeah.
Had I not been through these terrible relationships. I now have the ability to be like, hey, I love the way that you do this, or I really appreciate that you made me coffee this morning, or whatever else that people tend to just, it's a normal routine, they don't think about it, and I'm like, I love that you do this, or I see that you did this for this reason, or I see that you worked on this because I said this about something. So that's the good that came from the bad. So
So we have some more comments. So let's see what the people are saying.
Let's see. We have Celeste Laughlin that says, "Oh, that's sweet."
Probably talking about your beautiful husband.
I know, right?
Chuck says, "With the times that we live in today, we definitely need more love."
Yeah,
amen to that.
The Tyrone Rick says, "The 10 of Life has tuned in." Hey, Tyrone.
Hi, Tyrone.
It's awesome. He has the 10 of Life, which is in Pennsylvania, and he gives out all types of items to people who are in need. And we love him. He always comes in and pops in and says hello. So, hey, Tyrone.
Hello.
He's like, hi, ladies.
Hi, ladies.
Yes, experience is the best teacher for sure.
It is.
To have that.
Yeah.
Tabron Short says, "I'm vibing with Cynn. Most recently, I've reconnected with one of the past, and she has me focusing on me through her energy.
Aww.
Love is great."
Aww.
Yes, it does heal.
It does. Yeah. Absolutely. And that's what's so hard too. And I don't talk politics or anything, but I will say that through all of this, I have experienced anxiety that I don't know that I've ever felt, because I feel all these energies all the time, and my heart just breaks, and it's just like this overwhelming sense of I can't fix this, and I don't know how, and I just want to spread love, and there's so much hate, and why is there hate? I just want to spread love.
Right.
Yeah, we talk about that often, and we're both empaths, so we feel a lot. I feel a lot, and one day I was just having a horrible morning, and it was just. And my door rings, and I'm like hiding. I'm like ducking. Who's coming to my door? Because I wasn't even dressed. And these flowers pop up, and they come from Cynn. And I'm like, how did you even know? Like, how did you like? I never post anything on Facebook, And it was just like, so she has that ability to just know inside. And I love that about you, Cynn. And we've never even met each other. We've only this is the first time we've seen each other. You know that?
Yeah, all the conversations. It's been voice and text and
right.
Oh
wow. But and I did that little voice thing that I talk about. That was telling me, that you needed something. And I talked to Josh, and I was like, hey, can I just send her something? I just really feel like she needs it. And I was just like, she's always posting sunflowers. I just need something bright and sunny. And they nailed it. It was so cute. But I can't put the light all on me because Missy, you've been sending me stuff too. I got this awesome gift basket full of all these treats that I was just like, I was like, oh my God. And then this awesome scarf, and she's just great. You're just
I was gonna say, I think it's the energy. Yeah, that's the energy, and it's it's almost like when you buy a new car and you're like, oh, I'm the only one. I have this car, and it's a kind of a strange greenish color, and so I'm like, oh man, I'm the only one who has this color. And then I'm driving, and I'm like, wait, there's my car, and there's my car, right? So you're open to that.
Yeah.
And I think when you connect with people that has the same energy as you. Then you start to see and feel them, and you don't necessarily have to be in the same place. And I think that works, for good and also for bad, right? So if you surround yourself with a lot of people with bad energy, then, you're going to be taken by that. So I think that, that's a great testament,
to soul knows your soul.
So Cynn, I want to ask this of you, and this is kind of not one of the questions that I had to ask. But what does the younger you have to say to the older you? Or what does the older you have to say to the younger you? Wise words. What would you say to the younger you?
It would have saved me a lot of time if I would have known my true worth and my true value.
Wow.
Had I not tried to find it in others.
Right.
Because just as you were saying, if we surround ourselves with negativity and bad people, it rubs off. And I'm not saying that I was ever a bad person, but that takes a toll on you mentally, and you start seeing negative things and thinking negatively. And had I just known that I was worth it, I would have nixed people out of my life so much longer ago.
Yeah.
My delete finger is strong as hell. Oh yeah, I have no problem cutting people out of my life anymore, and that's thankfully because of Josh and everything he's done. And so I've been able to grow that within myself and be so confident in myself to realize if you don't bring value to my life,
right?
I don't have time for that. And we have such great people in our life now, and only great people in our life, because even when there's times where I'm like, oh, I don't really want to cut this person off, he basically is like, wake up, Cynthia, and then now, time's gone on, I'm like, God, he was so right. Life is so much better without these people. It's the truth. And people always ask why we're so into cigars. Number one, obviously we like cigars, but number two, the people that go to these lounges are just salt of the earth people. And people have this, they think that it's all these rich people that go to these cigar lounges and you can't fit in. Number one, that is sometimes true, but that doesn't mean that they're snotty people. It means that they're entrepreneurs and they've busted their butt. And I want to get around that, because those kind of people, they want to share their knowledge. They're great people, and we just absorb that. And so we just love the cigar community. I mean, it is so full of accepting people, and you can't go wrong with that. So I mean, going back to what you said, I just wish I would have loved myself more. So I was 10 steps ahead of the game.
Yeah. So since we're on the cigars, I'd like to also know more about this sandwich that you've got. I've seen it on like all your posts. It looks really good. I don't eat meat, but it still looks really good.
Well, and Josh and I are vegetarians too. So we had to kind of, we know we're the oddballs for being vegetarians, especially in Iowa. It's like Farm Central. But I was messaging the owner of that place and asking if they had any vegetarian options. And it was on Facebook, actually. I found them on Facebook and asked, and I guess it made it to where it was like public, where people could see. And someone mentioned, you should have your own sandwich there and call it the Coburn Crusher. And I was just like, whatever. And then a few weeks later, the owner gets a hold of us and he's like, hey, so I think that's actually a really good idea. We had a meeting with him, and we did tell him that we were vegetarians. But obviously when it comes to small businesses and stuff, you have to know what the market is. And fortunately, unfortunately, that meant we needed to do a traditional style sub, meaning with meat, but we were adamant that it could be made vegetarian. So we did that. And some of the, 5 or 10% of the proceeds go to Iowa Farm Sanctuary, which I love that place. They rescue farm animals, animals with disabilities, and they rehabilitate them and give them a life that they wouldn't have had. They would have been slaughtered most of the time. For minor things or whatever. So, and I'm not going to get into that whole thing. But so part of the proceeds do go to that sanctuary. So we're really proud of that. But Josh and I, as far as our taste, sometimes we are right on point with each other and we eat the same things. And then there's other times where I swear he lives under a rock, because I am like, I told the owner, I'm like, I think ham and salami would be good. And Josh is like, who puts ham and salami? I'm like, Subway does. That's their Italian sub, Josh.
I love it. I'm like, wait a minute. Does that say Coburn Crusher? I'm like, that is cool. I love it.
So what's on it? I want to know.
His is, I think his has chicken on it as the base, and then a spicy mayo and some jalapenos and pickles, lettuce, onion, tomato, all that. What else was on there? Pepper jack cheese, and then sliced jalapenos, and then French fried onions to make it the crunch for the And then with me, I love olives. I can eat them right on.
Me too. Oh my God.
And he hates olives. It is the funniest thing, because I'm just like, give me all the olives.
I've already crushed a jar today. I had like
he's getting all these snacks, and I'm like going to like that deli area with those little plastics. And I'm like,
they're good.
Like all the different olives. Heaven.
They're good. Before we go into any other questions, we have to take a short sponsor break. Our sponsor is the A Game, and so when we come back, we have a few more questions for you, Cynn. Okay.
This is A Game, an all-natural herbal dietary supplement formulated exclusively for men. Our proprietary blend was designed with one goal in mind: to improve your overall health, rejuvenating your vitality, energy, strength, and libido. Want to be at your peak performance in everything you do? Then bring your A game. Fast-acting, long-lasting, with no side effects.
Oh my God.
Yes. Chuck's not on here to advertise that, but that is an awesome product that he has to offer. And I'm sure he'll put it in the comment section on how you can contact him to get your A game on.
He said it's flying off the shelf. So, so let's work.
So my next question for you, what is your advice, or what advice would you give to new entrepreneurs who are just starting out with their small business?
Don't give up, and expect lots of changes. It doesn't mean that you failed. Even if you don't succeed at one thing, it's okay. Like, it is not common to just nail something right off the bat. The goal is to learn along the way and perfect what you're doing.
Yeah.
So just have patience with yourself, with the process. Know that it's going to take time. There's going to be lots of bumps in the roads and lots of hiccups and stuff, but it all works out in the end the way that it should. I mean, if you think about it, about a year or two ago, Josh and I were talking about a whiskey that we were in the process of creating. And I mean, we were this close. We had the barrel already. It was ready to go. And we ultimately didn't do it. And so here we were, advertising this whiskey, getting ready for it, and it fell through. And that was our choice. We chose to not go forward with it for a few reasons.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, and then there was a point where we were working on our own cigar. And we were also this close. We had the artwork for the bands and everything. And then ultimately we changed course with that and decided not to do that and work on something different. So, and that's why there's always irons in the fire. I mean, and that is so common because there's going to be things that are going to be eliminated, or this changes, or whatever else. I mean, that's part of the territory.
Right.
So yeah, again, like, just don't give up. Just know it will work out the way it's supposed to. And, just like whether it's your first podcast or your first whatever, you're going to be nervous as heck. You're going to have things that go wrong, and you're going to be stumbling over your words, and your website might not look the way you want it to, or things don't work out, your whatever. It happens. You're not the only one. And the best thing you can do is admit to your fault, or admit to mistakes, or, hey, like, I don't understand this. Would you mind explaining it to me?
Right.
People struggle with that so much. They are so afraid or ashamed to admit things that they don't understand or don't have answers for. And so they stumble over themselves. And you don't need to. Like, we're human. Like, if you don't know something, then just ask. Because people are going to be so glad to help you versus finding out another way that you didn't know something and now all this is messed up or whatever else. So kind of like just humble yourself.
Yeah. I love that.
Great. That's great.
And I'm using that for myself.
We have some comments, so let's see the comments from the people.
Sure. Let's see. Tyrone Rick says, Izzy, are you turning 30? No. I'm turning 46. Shh, don't you tell anybody.
Being around so Chuck says being around great people with the right energy is so important in everything that you do.
It is.
Very, very true. Very true.
Oh, no.
Then he has to spoil it with that.
I do not like olives.
Tyrone says, me either, Charles.
Tay Brown Shore says, listen, ladies, I was told a long time ago that the one isn't the one who walks with you in life. They will actually be the one who is looking in the same direction. What do you ladies think? All right, Cynn, we'll let you start because you got your man.
I do agree with that. There's that saying where, I don't walk in front of you. I don't walk behind you. I walk next to you.
Right.
And I truly believe that. And, you can build an empire when you're both kind of right there,
Right.
Josh and I do our own things to some degree, and it's always ultimately to benefit our future and our goals, because we've learned the way that each other works and it just goes hand in hand. But, you know, if he's always focusing on me or I'm always focusing on him, you know, that's not healthy either. So we kind of walk hand in hand. I don't know if maybe that's going against what he just said. I don't know.
No, I think it's like I think you're saying the right thing though, because you don't have to exactly do the same, but if your vision of where you're trying, you know, where you want to go is in the same direction, then, you know, then I think that makes for, so you can do your separate thing, but, you know, we have a vision of what we, you know, want to achieve, you know, maybe as a couple or as an individual. I want to help you achieve your vision. So I agree what he says in terms of like walking in the same direction. I think that's really, really important.
Yeah, I think he's a different set of eyes, and you need a different set of eyes to see things and, you know, realize, oh yeah, you're right. Like let's do it this way instead, or, you know, whatever it may be. So what were you gonna say?
I think that, well, when I think of you guys, I think of a couple being on the same energy level where you connect together. And I also see them doing their separate things, but always coming together with it. You know what I mean? Just like you and Josh do. You know, you have your thing going. He supports you 100%. He has his thing going. Like right now you're doing this, but he's somewhere else. And then he comes back and you guys vibe off of that. I think that is just, that's awesome to have that connection with your partner. Yeah, for sure. I think I have one more question before you go, and I am looking for I know what I need you to do. I need you to give me a shout out to the top 2 companies that you support on Instagram, on Facebook, that you love, because you always have good products that you show.
Yeah, there's so many of them. I really love Hardest Flint. Because the people behind that company, like, they're just such salt of the earth people. They have so much, like, just so many things going on. And, you know, obviously they live in Flint, and, you know, 90% of us know about Flint, what goes on in Flint, and the resiliency. And the, you know, again, the resiliency, but also the community that comes together there. And, you know, some will say that there's a division. Others will say there's absolutely not a division. And I truly love that company for what they stand behind and what they're trying to do with Flint. They're all about art and bringing the community together through art as well. So that's a top. My gosh, there are so many of them.
So many.
What would be another one? There's so many like jewelry ones that I really like.
I know. I love them.
Yeah, Flint Candle Company. They're great because they use all organic stuff for their candles and their incense. So I love that place. And there's just like lots of Etsy ones that I can't even find on Instagram, but I use them all the time. Like, so, I mean, honestly, like, I just want to see small businesses as a whole just flourish. I mean, I have a friend who's been making wire wrap jewelry for years now, and she's just killing it. She does like a tree of life jewelry. And I have another friend who she grows sage in her garden, and she takes these flowers and she puts them in resin and she makes jewelry out of it. And you know, obviously I'm so big into like honeybee stuff. So anything honeybee related and saving the bees, I am all for. So there's a company out of Detroit called Bees in the D that I really, really love. I've gotten to know the owners, and just phenomenal because they're trying to show people that you can even have bees in an urban environment. They're essentially growing gardens and stuff on the roofs of these Detroit buildings, bees in and harvesting, and like, it's just so cool. So it's so hard to answer that because my heart goes out to all these small businesses and these moms that are busting their butts to you know, do their own thing. And, you know, and especially with the times that we're in right now, I mean, it just breaks my heart. You have these big corporations that are Walmarts and all this stuff who get to stay open, and these poor small businesses are just crumbling. So
yeah. I see that. Yeah. In our town, it's hard to, some of the businesses have closed or they've moved completely. Yeah. So before we go, I'd like to know about your hat, and I also like to know where we can find you on social media and so forth.
Yeah. Yep. So this hat is actually Clocks and Colors. It's a company we work for, and we've said it so many times that Josh and I will only work with companies that we truly believe in, because we're not one of those influencers that are like, oh, give me free things and I'm just going to promote it. No, because most free things can be crap, or you can be a bad company. I mean, Josh had to let himself go from a fitness brand that he's worked with for a long time because they changed their values and he didn't agree with them, and so he let them go. Clocks and Colors, on the other hand, they're a great company. They make sterling silver jewelry and or the option of stainless steel, and it's just this badass jewelry that's like just all these cool things and skulls and what you name it. It's just like that biker and that rocker edge to it. So you'll always see us in all those different rings. Same with actually your Room 101 brand. That's another small business I want to talk about. He is awesome. He's in the cigar world, but he has this like side hustle that he just kills it with. He goes by It's Boofy Baby on Instagram. Yeah. The skull rings that we wear all the time.
Yeah, I saw those.
Yeah, he makes them by hand, and he is just killing it. I mean, some of his jewelry now is in like Macy's stores and stuff.
Oh, wow, nice.
Yeah, like he's awesome.
Yeah, so, I saw it. I saw I think so. It was a guy, I didn't know the rapper, but it was a rapper that because I was scrolling through his page that was actually wearing the ring and everything. I thought it was cool.
I can't think of it. Was it the white guy? He was a young guy. Gosh, I can't think of his name, but I know exactly who you're talking about because it had the Jesus on it with the thorns. And
I had gone on his page and he had more. I was like, wow, that's amazing.
Yeah, and he just like hand carves this stuff. So
it's beautiful.
Yeah.
So then I have a question to help take us out, because I love that you call yourself a full-time badass.
Yes.
I want to know what that means to you, and how can we get in touch with our full-time badass?
Full-time badass is essentially accepting yourself for who you are and not giving a crap about what others think, say, or do. Because if we allowed ourselves to be influenced by other people's opinions, we'll never be true to ourselves, and we could never fully love ourselves. So I don't care what other people say about me. I don't, like, at all. And I used to. I don't anymore. So I'm like, I'm damn near 4 years old, and I'm tired of this crap. Like, So, and I don't fit in that mold of most people, but that's okay. So being that full-time badass is being a woman and accepting you for however you look, for whatever you do. And so many women are saddened because they're not this and they're not that, and I'm like, girl, stop. Like, you can control the way you look, the color of your skin, anything. All you can control is your mental attitude and how you love yourself. So that's what makes you a badass, is just be a woman. The imperfections about ourselves, and know that no matter what you choose, whether it's a natural body or the tummy tucks like we've talked about, or whatever, you do you, whatever makes you happy.
I was just about to say that too. I was gonna say, do you, boo? That's what we say.
That's right.
Yes, you are here for you.
I love it. I love it. Now you guys see why I love her so much. Yeah. That is awesome. All right, then you have to tell us where we can find you, all your social media platforms, Josh's too. You can mention his if you'd like to.
Everything for me is Cynn Coburn, CYNNCOBURN. Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. My website is sinister.com. CYNNISTER.com. And with Josh, he's also Joshua Coburn on Facebook, Instagram, but TikTok, it's Joshua.Coburn. And that's really where he is thriving right now is TikTok.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, I am a little bit too, like that's my highest following, but I don't get it with him. I mean, he just gets these people. And I'm sitting there like, what are you doing? Like, I'm the girl. Like,
and then when you told me TikTok, I was like, what?
Yeah. So yeah, very easy to find us. And, you know, ultimately all we want to do is spread love and acceptance and kindness and make this world a better place and know that when we leave it, it's better, at least for the people around us. So
I love it. Oh, one more thing before we go off to comments. I want to know how we can vote for you, because I heard you were runner up for Inked Magazine, which I'm like,
tell us about that.
So Inked Magazine is running this contest right now where you can win $25,000 and be on the cover of their magazine. I know there's a lot of women running for this, and they have it in sections. So in my group, I know I'm first place in that group, but there's so many groups I found out about. But all you have to do is on my Instagram, I have the link right on my bio. You can just click on it. And then on Facebook, I mean, my page is like flooded with people that are sharing. So it's super easy. It is daily votes. And then if I win this round, unfortunately, people have to keep voting. And this can take a couple months. Personally, I don't see myself going that far because ultimately it's the person with the most money that wins.
Right.
But in this round, that'll be awesome. At least I can take first in something, right?
I know, that's right. I know. And you guys, if you haven't go on and check. Like the pictures are beautiful, amazing, artistic, like inspiring, like they're artsy. Like I saw them, and I was like, I could put that like poster, like that legit can be a poster on my wall. You know what I mean?
We do our own pictures. We've never. So like they're all with our cell phone and like a little remote and stuff. So
yeah, and you have like so much movement in your picture. There's one with your hands like that, and your hair is like kind of spiky.
It's beautiful.
Oh yeah.
Gorgeous.
It's beautiful.
I was like,
I love her hair. She's got an owl like right here. It is. Can you see it?
Yeah, I saw it.
The other way. Yeah. Look at that. Oh my goodness. I still have my sleeve to do. I've gotten like a little, I'm not even halfway through.
You'll get it eventually. I mean, my arms aren't fully, I still have to do too.
I love that. It's just beautiful. It's beautiful.
I'm still working on getting my nails done. So
priority.
I'm not taking real baby steps right now.
Well, I was getting my nails done with the points, and then like I'd be holding my phone, and you know, all my business is on my phone, so I'm sitting there like click.
Oh yeah. I love the points. I love the nail points. Those are so cool. So I think some last comments. Perhaps.
Oh yeah. Let's go to those and see what we have. See if they come up. I don't see them.
Well, some popped up earlier, and then now I don't know where they went.
All right.
Oh, there we go. Tabron Short says, you three have an awesome chemistry. Shout outs from Coastal Georgia. Looking forward to part 2. That's right.
Thank you.
Loving the full-time badasses on this show. You ladies are fire.
We should rename the show Badasses. No,
I know, right? I know. I love it. I love it. Cynn, you are more than welcome to come on here anytime. Once you're a part of the Feel Good Talk family, you're always a part of the Feel Good Talk. Whatever you want to talk about, you just send us a message and we will be sure to have you on Thursdays, whatever day you want to do.
Thank you.
Yes, for sure.
So if you guys would like to... Oh, sorry.
Drag Josh on one time too.
Yeah, no, I'd love to have Josh on. Yeah, bring Josh on for sure. So if you guys want to connect with Feel Good Talk, we are on LinkedIn at Feel Good Talk. Facebook at Feel Good Talk, and YouTube at FGT Mind, Body, Soul, and Business. Instagram is feel.good talk. And then our site is feelgoodtalk.net. My goodness, that's a tongue twister.
You can find us everywhere.
We are everywhere. I
Everywhere.
appreciate you, Cynn, for coming on and
Yes.
sharing your journey with us.
Yes.
You are just a lovely soul. It's just beautiful. It's just vibrating through the screen. And I'm just grateful that you were able to join us today.
Oh, thank you. You guys are as well. So I'm also blessed.
This interview was everything I thought it was going to be and more. So
yes,
thank you.
I couldn't wait. So Feel Good Talk fam, please be sure to join us next Thursday at 7 p.m. Same place, same time. And we love you very much. Thank you for joining us. Bye. I can never make my heart right with the camera.